So part of the problem is, over the past week, the group really hasn't been, like, all together long enough to really come to a decision on all 6, or 4 to 6 NPCs they want, so... And there's some other questions about the NPCs that they would like answered, perhaps, to sort of clarification. So this is basically kind of the interview session.
Oh yes, I have questions.
So there is a document that I still don't have the link to, but it has a list of all the B team candidates. Although Lookout and Stronghoof have already been assigned to taking care of the library. And Guts, even though he was taken off the list, is still kind of coming up in conversation and might still be an option if people are set on it. But other than that, yeah, this is just a mini session. There's not really going to have a formal beginning, so I guess the question is, who wants to interview who right now?
Spud, before we start, did we work out that level, that +5 bonus thing? If not, that's cool. I just thought I'd ask.
Keyless, the whole +5 thing, as I recall, and from having listened to the session, was that, it was a very temporary, like, it was a natural 20 thing?
Yeah.
So, it's probably worn off at this point.
Okay, that's cool. I thought it would've, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll ask.
Yeah. You're still...
We need all the...
Until you, drink some water and sleep it off, you're gonna be, you're still gonna be kind of inebriated.
Darn it, because we need all the persuasion checks we can get to persuade Lilypad to head up our B team.
Oh, no, that's easy. You'll either do this or we'll let Javolt hug you.
I don't see that being a very compelling argument.
So wait,
You would be surprised.
did you say Javolt hug?
No?
I'm
gonna go with no.
Not in a serious manner, no.
Because I don't see how that's actually threatening.
It's a joke.
I do.
I think you're the only one who doesn't see how that's threatening.
Actually, I don't really get it either, but I do not desire an explanation either. So,
Right, you
back
off
to
with my dog later.
back to my original question, which is, out of all the NPCs that have gathered now in Blinky's general store, who do you want to talk to about this?
I think we need to talk to Lilypad first.
All right.
Let's be honest.
Alright, so you can request to take Lilypad upstairs to kind of speak away from the main group a bit. And she just kind of gives you an odd look and says, what's the deal?
Well,
We want you to lead our little group of misfits.
You want me to... what exactly?
We can't be everywhere, but everywhere needs us. Therefore, we need a second team, and you would probably be better at keeping them in line and actually being useful than anyone else here.
Is this before...
Probably.
Is this before or after you help me deal with the Steel Rangers blockade?
After.
well, it'll be after the Steel thing, but
During?
no, after.
Okay.
Well, I
But yes,
thought we would use both teams at the Slayer thing and then split up from there.
But I think we pretty personally think that you're the best individual to lead this second team.
You're pretty much the best individual anywhere, let's be honest here.
A backup squad? Of the Dragon Mawlers?
Essentially.
Well, we are
Essentially.
a corporation.
Stuff has gotten way messed up, and you wouldn't have to be called Dragon Mawlers if you didn't want to. I can understand not wanting to be associated with us.
Dragon Mawlers subsidiary.
Ignore the donkey, please.
Yes, please.
Thing is, stuff is
She's
messed
met
up
me
all
before.
over
She
the
knows how
wastelands.
I think.
Stuff is messed up all throughout Dragon's Maw, and there aren't enough
Well,
of us
it's the
to...
wasteland. Stuff will be messed up either way.
Sure,
Well,
but
see, we're
stuff is
trying
really
to
starting
make
to go...
it's not as messed up.
Lilypad stuff is really starting to go down. The executive has wormed his way into the cult of Tiamat, and
Right.
we think the cult of Tiamat has a dragon egg. Stuff
I'm
is just
sorry,
gonna...
what?
Yeah, exactly. You see Aurelia here? We managed
Hi.
to get her from Glaurung, right? And there was one more dragon egg, infused with all this power and stuff to make them immune to the curses. The other one was in Tanis's possession, but it was stolen. And I think that the cult of Tiamat has it, and that might be how they're starting to make all these hybrids.
Lilypad rests a hoof over her eyes, and then just...
Also, we've
Hey, this
killed
one
off
isn't my
more than
fault.
half the dragons, and so they're probably going to be coming after us at some point.
But we basically think you're a really level-headed individual and are really qualified to be a leader for this kind of thing.
Are there any incentives besides just maintaining peace and order and whatnot in the Maw? Do you have a budget for this, or what?
No.
So
We could probably... No, we could
I
pay
have-
them.
Well, yes, I suppose we could, and there
I
will
have
be...
like a lot of pocket money.
Yes,
Look, whatever
we
you
do.
loot, you keep, basically.
fair
And-
enough.
Yeah, there's that, and, well, honestly, we haven't put a great deal of thought into this yet, so we're still working out the
I
details
mean, yeah,
ourselves.
these people just showed up at our doorstep, like, today, and you happen to be here as well.
Fair enough. That is rather surprising to me as well, that you've got something of a fan club, including Sarge of all ponies.
Yes, and
Tell me about
think
it.
about it. If you do this, you will also have a fan club.
Don't try and sully on that, Javolt. It's beneath you.
Lilypad don't need no fan club.
Well, Javon Comps.
Although, Lilypad, if you
I'm-
had a fan club, I would totally be in it, just saying.
I must say,
Well, that wasn't
before
what I was
anything
trying
else
to
is said.
imply.
I prefer working alone more to working with others. I more prefer working more in the shadows than taking up a leadership role.
Well, shame, really.
But that's just a matter of preference.
Well,
It's fair enough.
I
but-
mean, you could incorporate that into your leadership style, or you could even be.
Don't misunderstand. I've worked my way up through the Steel Ranger ranks. I know how to take orders and to give them. But
Which is precisely why we're asking you, because you've got
And
some actual
besides which,
experience.
most
in
of
this.
your group won't be Steel Rangers, so
I mean, an argument could probably be made that you're probably more qualified than any of us to lead a team like this.
an argument could be made. I don't think it's much of an argument. He definitely is.
Javol Cops.
None of us are leaders, that's for sure.
Javol Cops harder.
You need.
Javal-
do you have something you want to say, Javolt?
Oh no,
should you
not at all.
should I ask you to raise your hoof because you have a question?
No.
Or should we just get you some cough syrup?
You know, I'm getting the impression you don't like me.
No.
Well, at least now I know what's going on.
To be fair, I don't like many of you besides Flotsam,
Flotsam
But-
just beams, looking really pleased with herself.
but most of you have my respect. But that doesn't mean I necessarily like you.
I can't blame you for that.
But
That's kind of what we
that's
need.
not the insult it sounds like, and I apologize if you feel slighted.
Not at
Really,
all.
that's kind of what we need. Despite what some ponies seem to think of us, we are really messed up, and you're one of the ponies who actually knows that. And, you're not going to be afraid to call us out on it. How about, and this is just an idea, but, I mean, it seems like you maybe need time to consider this. We did just spring it on you, but we're
That's
gonna
true.
have to talk. We're gonna have to talk to the others. Try and figure out who'd be best for this team if we're gonna have one. How would you feel about sitting in and, listening in on us while we ask them questions? Maybe ask some of your own, if you wanted to.
In all honesty, I don't know if I would want to sit in, but I would like the time to consider it.
Of course.
But I would rather do that alone with my thoughts to myself, thank you.
Feel
Sure.
free, we're not going to brush you.
Very reasonable.
Hey, Lilypad. Thanks for giving it the time to think about it anyway.
Sure. In all honesty, I probably will. I just need to convince myself to get around to it.
Yeah, We all need convincing of bad ideas. Thank you.
Now, see, Flotsam, that's why I like you. You also know that you guys are messed up.
I'm sure we all know it, really.
She's just more vocal about it.
She gets to be more vocal because she is a child. All of us have to pretend to be polite.
What?
Okay.
Sorry, I only heard half of that and it still sounded stupid.
Come on, you guys. Lilypad, can we find you somewhere to have a think?
I'll find my own way. Although, I reserve the right to check in on how you're doing with your team selection. Because I will want to say.
Yes, definitely.
Who I take with me. But you're right. You are only one group, and perhaps another group of, at the very least, experienced adventurers is what the Maw needs.
Flotsam nods vigorously.
All right. I'll go, and I'll check in later. And she
Thanks.
walks out of the little side room upstairs and heads off on her own.
Right, which one of us is getting the next one?
Aurelia just kind of shrugs and says, "Well, who's the next one?"
You go out, pick a random pony, bring them back in.
I'd rather not. I'm not actually that interested in this whole B-team thing. Not really looking to be a manager here. Can I just, I don't know, just...
Do you want to start helping with the preparations for going to Slayer Base, maybe? Or you could work on practicing your plasma caster, or
yeah,
there's a whole bunch of
just
things
something else to do.
Teenagers.
I'll be nice. Are you okay, Relia?
I don't know. I just not really interested in all these big old planning and, the managerial stuff.
That's fine.
Are you feeling cold?
Not at all. I'm a dragon.
No, I'm serious. Javolt goes up and starts to
Javolt!
put his hoof on her forehead.
Tempered
trying
skill
to take
will
his
pull
temperature.
Javolt away from Aurelia.
I'm worried. She seems like she might be sick or something.
She was just yawning.
Or maybe she's going into hibernation. That happens with dragons. And
What?
you know that she's been magically
Javolt, how
altered.
much do you really know about dragon biology?
I think I would know if I was going into hibernation, Javolt.
This is your first hibernation. You wouldn't know at all.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Sounds like
I'm
Javolt
fine.
volunteering to target
I am
practice.
fine. Yes, target practice. Going to just use
Tim,
my
do me
plasma
a favor
caster
and
on.
keep an eye on her while she's target practicing.
I go with
am
Aurelia.
not
I think she'll be fine, mate.
hibernating. And Javolt, you from getting your hoof on her forehead, she feels rather hot under her scales, but that's normal for her. You recognize that from your previous examinations.
Someone should make her targets with Javolt's face on it.
And Aurelia, not quite in a huff, but kind of getting there, just kind of slightly stomps out of the room. Which just leaves 5 of you there.
Should we assume, by the way, that Powder is making a start on the armor, possibly?
Yeah, or just some of the weapon stuff.
Yeah.
Second
Just so we know who's-
Blinky.
Or
just...
just doing his own thing with Blinky.
Oh my god, yes. Blinky, we might not come back from this mission. I think we should have another date. Anyway.
That wouldn't be out of character, no. It's high time, really.
Yeah, we need Blinky's backstory apart from anything else.
Oh,
I swear if Powder Keg doesn't ask her, Flotsam's going to.
there is that.
Note to Spud, think of a Blinky backstory. A Blink story, if you will.
You're starting to know me a bit too well.
Blinky's backstory turns out to be remarkably normal.
Actually, I've already kind of laid out the outline of her backstory, so.
Here's a fun thing. My partner has this crack theory about Blinky that I won't share with you, just because, in case it turns out to be true.
Just in case it turns out to be true.
Just in case, but he keeps mouthing it to me and making me laugh. God damn it, Dave. Anyway.
Now I'm curious.
Her backstory is very tragic and very off-screen.
very off screen. Spud, I'll message you and tell you later, but...
Okay. So, I guess out of all the NPCs gathered downstairs, who do you want to talk to next?
Paces, I
Flotsam will
guess, was
go
on
downstairs with whoever else.
No,
I think-
it's just who do you go? You go downstairs, you grab someone, you invite them back upstairs again.
Well, Flotsam is just
What's
going to
that?
go...
Should we be looking at this
Anyone
from an
wanna go next?
in-character? Or, should we be considering who they'd want to talk to in-character? Or should we be looking at this, who do we...
I'm gonna
Let's-
roleplay all of it. So
Yeah, let's just do this in character.
okay,
Did someone say short circuit?
Sure, yeah.
all right. Who's
Hey,
this?
short circuit, you want to go first?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And she kind of hops up the stairs towards you. And once you get to the little interview room you guys have informally set up, she just kind of looks around and says, "So, what's the deal?"
Well, since there's so many of you guys who kind of are being so nice and willing to help us and stuff, which is awesome, by the way,
Yeah.
we thought we'd kind of ask some questions, get a feel for who'd be worked well together in the team, that kind of thing.
Okay.
'Cause,
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah. What do you want to know?
well, I had a real quick question first of all, which is,
Okay.
is Gold Rush going to be okay without you if we choose you for the team?
I made sure that I touched up every single part of the systems, foolproofed it, and made sure that Nail knew how to fix everything in case, things will always go wrong with, technology, but I made sure Nail knows what to do about most of the problems, and I can make sure he can, tune into the radio station and make sure I get to know if there's something that really needs fixing.
So,
That's awesome.
but basically, you're really smart and good with techie stuff.
Oh yeah, since I
Did
was
you,
a foal.
did you, by any chance, construct one of my electric turrets that I handed out the blueprints for?
Actually, I tried putting a prototype together of that, but then the gunsmith curse made it explode, so it didn't really...
Oh,
Because
darn.
it still had a trigger mechanism and a barrel, and it didn't really... It just was too gun-like.
Well,
then
that's good to know for future.
It might be better to make it more of a tower with an electrosphere at the top. Javolt
I
goes
don't
off
know.
and starts working on
I thought about stuff like that, but I'm not sure what does fall into the curse and what doesn't, and what would actually be effective. So I don't know.
Javolt, you're going
Unless
way...
you're sure. Unless you're sure, you don't want to risk blowing up valuable tech.
Yeah. I mean, I already lost a lot of good electronics in that explosion.
So, short circuit, you've been doing this tech stuff for ages and ages since you were little, right?
Oh yeah, since I was a foal.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm just curious then, and I know this is because you want to help us and stuff, but what particularly made you want to be a prospector, joining a secondary caravan for us?
Well, actually, wow, it's a long story. I came here with some other prospectors. Some of them left, some of them stuck around, or just kept exploring something. I'm not sure what happened to them, but I decided to stay in Gold Rush because I don't know, with the whole Fool's Gold thing happening before, you awesome ponies came along, I always regretted not being able to do more, but just making sure ponies stayed alive seemed more important to me than just trying to beat some ancient old dragon lich things.
So,
Yeah.
So does your expertise include any medical stuff at all?
Oh, every pony knows how to use, healing bandages and potions, but, I don't really know. I've never, I guess that's the other thing. I don't like not having a doctor handy.
Actually,
Fair
I just
enough.
thought of something. Tannis expanded her curse when she was dying, and theoretically, we might have to go after... What was his name again? The Tech Dragon? Anyway, if that curse expands, how would you handle that?
Well, it's all about making technology just go haywire, so I guess how I'd be useful there would be just to deal with all the, figure out how to deactivate all the malfunctioning hardware quickly and just rely on, well, probably other ponies who don't have machine-type skills. But I would be kind of useful, but yeah, I would have a disadvantage, yeah, probably.
So you're saying you work well under pressure?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like to think so. I haven't had a whole lot of pressure in a while because I've been in a nice, relatively safe town for a while. Murdered mayors besides.
You said you were good with a shotgun, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't really help much in the mod, does it?
Yeah, exactly. So I was wondering, do you have another fighting style in mind? Just in case you have a combat
Actually,
situation?
I've been trying my hoof at explosives, and I gotten pretty good at that.
Flotsam's eyes widen, and there's a big grin on her face. Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
And you were my inspiration for that.
Really?
Yes.
We have to trade recipes sometime.
Oh yes, I bet I've
Are
got
the
so
two
much to
little
learn from you.
billies dancing around or
No,
something?
just kind of swinging at each other from a distance.
Like, yay! Bombs! Flotsam is just kind of grinning at the others with her big eyes going, can we pick her, can we pick her? Like, not actually saying it, but her face is very clearly saying it.
I
You'll
know.
excuse me, I think I need to prepare some insulin.
So, anything else you want to ask?
Are you any good with steel range attack?
Well, I had to fix up Sarge's armor once, and Trip actually needs a lot of regular maintenance. So yeah, I think I am.
That's all I've got to ask.
Okay.
And when you were in Go ahead, Jabal.
If someone has a plan and you don't quite agree with it, how would you react?
Shout at them until they stop being stupid.
I like her.
Uh-huh. But, on the whole, you've been with a caravan before, right?
Yeah.
So you're used to working with other ponies?
Well, I don't know. The caravan kind of fell apart really fast. Because of the Fool's Gold curse. It just kind of sucked. It wasn't a great group. But working in Gold Rush, I have to work to help other ponies all the time. So there's that.
Okay, so as long as you have,
I consider
like,
that kind of really better than working in a caravan. Just being there for every pony.
So you work well with others.
Yeah, it's all about helping other ponies, right? Making sure every pony survives.
That is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, what exactly would you need, ponies like us to do? What are you thinking?
Well, they're just kind of secondary missions, really, that we have to do. Like, what we're gonna do next is go to Slayer Base. But there's all this other stuff that needs doing.
Yeah, like the executive.
And heck, you need to check out Gold Rush because, well, there might be a security issue there.
A what?
Well, guys, can we tell her she lives there? FYI, Flotsam is talking about how... Yeah. Well, we think that Hammer might have something to do with the executive.
What?
Well, we don't know for sure, but there was a plot to kind of hurt someone, and the thing that was used to hurt them came from Gold Rush, and it seems like it came from Hammer, and we're not sure exactly what's happening, but it's kind of worrying, so that might be the kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be, it's just, Hammer, huh?
I don't know for sure. I don't want to think badly of him, but you never know.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that really stands out about Hammer other than he's kind of just lazy, but I don't think he'd be just, really that corrupt.
Yeah.
But you're right. It might be worth checking out. And yeah, I'd totally be okay with going on that kind of mission.
Flotsam is smiling hopefully at the rest of the team again.
So, do you have an opinion of Lilypad?
Who?
Or I suppose
She's
Okay, so you probably haven't met her.
Was that
Lily-
the steel ranger mare that was with you guys when you came in?
she's a star paladin.
What is that?
It's like a really high ranking thing in the Steel Rangers. She's really talented and good at her job and doesn't take any BS.
Okay. Well, that sounds
She's good at
alright.
stealth.
I don't know if I'm good at stealthy things.
Not all of us are. It takes everyone. All sorts to make a team.
Well, I mean, if she's with you guys, she sounds alright.
Mhm.
I don't think there's a pony down there that's like really, I don't know, got it in for you guys.
Probably a bit of a silly question, but you ever killed a pony?
Oh yeah. I've killed plenty. You have to.
Oh, just checking.
Raiders and ghouls mostly. Did have to. Well, I didn't have to, but I kind of had to help kill one of our fellow prospectors in our group.
What? What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but
Oh, sure.
it was the fool's gold curse thing.
Oh.
One of our guys got greedy, and it just happened very fast.
Yeah, Fool's Gold Curse will mess with you. That's for sure.
It's not. I guess really what that meant to me was, it's, I don't know, killing a pony, fine. If they're bad, that's fine. But like killing someone who's just like betraying you, that hurts.
I know, right?
So if I was gonna be on this side team of yours, I'd want to be sure that I could trust all those ponies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we want the same thing.
Well, yeah. You guys want to trust them too, but I want to make sure I can trust them too. But it's the wasteland. I bet that's how everyone pony thinks.
But yeah, having ponies on this team who can trust each other, that's the thing we're gonna need.
Anyway, anything else?
I'm done. You guys?
I'm good.
No more from me.
Okay then. Should I go now then?
Yeah, I'll come with. And whoever else wants to come to collect the next person.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of people are being really quiet.
Yes, I noticed.
Sorry, there's not exactly a hell of a lot to say for me, because, again, Tibbs did not meet half these people.
Alright, well this is your opportunity, so. But anyway, so I guess it's just Flotsam going down to get the next person. Who do you guys want to ask questions to next?
Probably go 10 paces. Yeah, that actually doesn't sound like a terrible decision.
Well, you know, just because you pick someone to interview doesn't mean you have to pick them for the B team. It's just if you want to resolve any more, clarify anything or resolve any,
Don't
doubts.
tell us that. Well, as long as he's one of the ones that we had as a solid pick, we might as well get interviewing him out of the way.
10 paces, would you like to come up?
Okay. He, stomps up the stairs and, follows you to the room.
I feel like Flotsam should have a clipboard and spectacles. The Dragon Mawlers will see you now. She doesn't actually say that.
He locates a relatively tiny chair in the room to sit on and just kind of seats himself in the room in front of you guys. You wanted to see me?
Yes, thank you for coming up.
Okay.
And thanks for kind of offering your help and stuff. We're kind of asking everyone questions to figure who we should take on.
Of course.
So you wouldn't have any problems with going from your previous group and joining another group, then?
My previous group seems to be going their separate ways, so I might stick with them, I might find something else. I'm still in the midst of deciding.
How's your former boss taking all this?
Excalibur is adjusting.
Sounds...
His pride has taken a severe blow. But
Will he
I
be
think
okay if...
ultimately I think this will either be healthy for him or be the ruin of him.
What would the ruin of him wind up being?
Him trying to overcompensate and regain his perceived loss of status in a way that is too reckless even for him.
Sounds like he'd try to take on a dragon all by himself in that state.
Or some equivalent, yes. But that is one of several imagined scenarios, and honestly, right now, all that can be done is to wait and see.
Fair enough.
Why is it that you guys are offering to help us?
Because
If you don't mind my asking.
in my opinion, our previous partnership worked well, and was ultimately to the benefit of all parties involved.
Flotsam kind of looks at him intently and goes, even though I kicked Excalibur in the shin?
Excalibur can take punishment.
So aside from being a Minotaur, what exactly is your skill set?
Well, I possess a great deal of physical strength, and I'm not as much of a smooth talker as Slick was, but I still am told that I have a way with words. At least I have a good intuition about things.
So you think you've got some, like, diplomatic or social skills?
Something like that.
Well, he was the one that offered that whole partnership to begin with.
Yes, I'd say that was a successful venture.
What's your combat skills like? We never really saw you fight.
Well, very recently I got this weapon from Smaug's horde, and he brings out this sort of gold and steel glaive, this sort of throwing bladed disc weapon. And he says, I've been practicing, but I haven't had the chance to try it out yet. I presume it has some sort of magical properties, but I am not entirely sure what they are yet.
Zenkarn might be able to help you find out. Bolton glances over at Zenkarn. He's real smart with magic.
I give a half-assed nod.
Oh.
Well, if nothing else, after you're done with this, you can go out back and practice with Aurelia. She's shooting that gun of hers.
I've already been down to the range. From what I suspect it has something to do with the elements, but I'm not sure exactly what triggers it.
The elements?
Fire, ice,
the elements of
electricity.
harmony?
No, not the elements of harmony. Physical elements.
Oh, okay. Like how tempered steel's hammer is lightning.
Yes, that is an odd weapon you have, but that is not the focus of this interview, I take it.
Oh, no.
No.
I don't know if you can tell.
Have you...
But we haven't exactly interviewed anyone before. Well, Short Circuit. But that was just now.
So, have you met Lilypad?
Not personally. Only just now.
Do you know enough about her to have an opinion about her?
She seems very reasonable and capable, although my gut says that she has got some issues of her own to work out.
Can you think of anyone who doesn't?
Fair enough. But she conceals her nature more thoroughly than others.
I suppose to get to that kind of position kind of makes sense.
It does.
You seem to keep yourself, fairly quiet as well. Does that make sense? Not in a bad way.
I find that my kind tends to be intimidating if we have too much of a presence.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Aw, Steel, I always thought you were a big softie.
Anything else?
If we picked you, but we didn't have room enough to take, say, Excalibur or Zephyr, Would they be okay without you?
Excalibur and Zephyr, certainly. They've always been the nucleic group at the heart of our prospector group,
Oh, so they're besties.
more or less. They've been together longer than we were a caravan.
Okay.
Yes. Myself, Slick, and the others, we were simply hires on to make ourselves caravan size to take on the Maw. But they've been traveling together for quite a while. I do not know exactly how long.
If we did bring you on, would you require some sort of compensation for the efforts?
I suppose if you do not have the budget, I could always simply have the right to loot whatever we find.
Absolutely. Any loot you get, you keep. Well, split among the party, but you know what I mean.
However, to start,
Well, I'm sure
I do not think I would, because while more caps is always, well, usually a better thing in the wasteland, I'm already fairly set after looting Smaug's horde. I am not hurting for caps.
Well, we're still working out the details on that kind of thing anyway.
However, for the others, I would recommend, if not a steady pay, at the very least a significant signing bonus. But that's only if they request it.
Makes sense. Budgeting's hard.
I do not think I would require that, simply just a clear sense of purpose is what I require.
Is that why you became a prospector in the first place?
Yes. A suitable challenge and a clear goal. That is enough to drive me. Clear leadership doesn't hurt either. I am not one for leadership, mostly support.
Flotsam nods and looks satisfied, then looks to the others. You guys got any more questions?
I'm good.
Nope.
Not particularly.
Very well.
Flotsam will, as before, escort 10 paces downstairs and grab whoever you guys want next.
Stalker.
Yes. Hey, Stalker, can we see you?
Sure, little Philly. And he comes upstairs with you.
Hey, boss.
Ha ha, boss.
What
Boy,
exactly
this is weird.
happened back there anyway?
He didn't tell you.
I'm sure I mentioned it at some point.
He told me a little.
Well, I don't even know who you are, so, not me.
Ah, yes. I am Stalker. I am the former leader of the slaver gang here in the Maw, before the executive blew it all up, just so he could get one of the hybrids in my employ.
Sounds like something that asshole would do.
Precisely. I'd been working with the man for a while, but that was low even for him.
He is indeed an asshole.
Indeed. So how does that bring us here?
So
We want you to work for us.
Oh, is that all?
Sort of. We're basically collecting a team of like-minded and skilled individuals to go send out on small, sort of waiver hoof around distractedly.
And here I thought I was going to be
missions
your
for us.
secretary.
Well, I'm
No,
happy to
that's my
take you on
job.
as a secretary.
So, following what happened with the executive, are you ready to try to work towards being a better individual at all?
Excuse me?
Don't listen to
How?
him.
Are you implying that this man was not a fine individual beforehand?
Well, yeah.
Well, to
He
be
was a
fair,
single.
I was not, and I still am not.
And that is exactly why you're here. Because
Oh,
we need your... Oh shit, what's the word I'm looking for?
worldliness?
Savvy?
Yeah. You have less than moral leanings, and I see that being a useful foundation for any form of group in the Maw.
Plus, you've
I
had
must
dealings
admit
with
I'm
executives.
not accustomed to working in the adventurer style.
Well,
What kind of help were you thinking of offering us when you came?
To be fair, I didn't have anything in mind, just I have a debt to pay, and I intend to see it paid.
do you want to go kill people for us?
That would
ponies,
be
I should say.
agreeable.
Would you be capable of not killing people if it came to that?
Do I really come across as a savage-tempered steel?
Oh, come on, dude. He was a slaver at one point. I think he knows how not to kill people.
Just good business not to kill every pony you meet. That's a raider's job.
I like him.
I
mean,
can agree
apart
with
from the whole
everything this
slaver,
pony says.
I mean, the whole slaver asshole thing aside, he does talk sense.
You're not gonna go back to being a slaver, right?
Take years to build up that kind of gang again, and not with nearly as much funding as the executive was giving me. So no, I
And
think
also, it's a horrible thing to do.
that career path is closed to me at the moment, little Philly.
I'll take it.
So do you know the individual lily pad well enough to have an opinion of her?
Not particularly.
Well,
she's
if you join,
she's a steel ranger, so that's not good.
well, if you join our little team, she'll be your boss, sort of.
Pardon?
Well, we're getting her to lead this little expedition we're going to be potentially sending you on, I should say.
Okay. Starker leans forward and says, "Why her and not me?"
Because you would ask that question.
Mostly because we've known her longer than we've known you. You interest me, and I think you'll be very, very good for her to bounce ideas off, but I just don't see you in a leadership role at this point in time.
Would it look good on my resume if I pointed out that I was the effective leader of a very large group of slavers for longer than you've been in the mob by far?
No, it would not.
Well, the
Well,
leadership
since
part,
Actually, he has a point.
group of slavers part, not so much.
Flotsam fixes him with a hard stare. Being in a caravan is different from doing whatever it is you do to your slaves.
To be fair, it's probably not much of a leadership position if it ends up anything like this group.
We don't have leaders in this group. Sorry, Devolt.
Don't apologize. Never apologize.
Stalker,
And the other
you
fact
kinda
of the matter
help-
is, they're more the others that we sign on, if there are any, are more likely to listen to a steel ranger than you, no offense.
Fair enough.
So you could handle taking orders from someone if you needed to.
Well, it's an adventuring party. It's less about taking orders and more just
Well,
working together and teamwork and friendship and all of that, isn't it?
No, we just expect you to not kill each other for, like, a little bit.
Well, that too.
Don't forget the bickering.
Oh, if I'm free to bicker, then I have no objections.
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely free to bicker. That is exactly why you're there.
Right up until Lilypad says to stop.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we
Oh,
should
yeah, 'cause
encourage
that
bickering.
stopped
We
you.
already fill up our quota on that. We have a bickering quota, and we've gone over it several times.
Anyway, some actually interesting questions for you.
oh.
What, how much would you say medical expertise do you have?
Oh, I had trained doctors in my employ, but I have had to stitch up my own wounds now and again, and the wounds of my guards. And whenever we would beat a slave too harshly, yes, I might have had to administer to them as well.
Flotsam winces.
So, I know the rudimentary basics.
And you know how to fight, of course.
Oh, well, of course. I'd say, as far as my fighting style goes, I'm something of a throwing knives enthusiast. But
Flotsam does
I
look
can,
as
I
well.
can, I can give as good a buck as I can take, as well.
Huh, so you're ranged. That's an interesting little
Close,
skill,
close.
especially here.
Close to medium ranged, but now we're getting technical
Oh, yeah.
about our martial arts.
Hey, as long as you can hit the vitals, it doesn't really matter where you throw it from, does it?
Not particularly, no. And
Just
throwing
try
knives
and stay out of blasphemy.
are light and simple, and they can be thrown in rapid succession. I quite enjoy it. And as a unicorn, I can retrieve my ammunition if need be.
Yeah? Yeah, I give a look to the rest of the party and sort of a general nod and like, for a pony, yeah, I think he'd do.
Flotsam rolls her eyes. Oh, I have a question. Those 2 alicorns that were staying with you while you were in hospital, well, the med bay, what'll happen to them? Who are they anyway?
We had kind of a heart-to-heart between us. And they've been adjusting since the fall of Unity. And we came to an agreement that we should probably go our separate ways. Though our time together has been fun, they have expressed a desire to go out and experience the world through their own eyes and all of that nonsense. So
Aww.
they will likely remain in Skyfall for a time until the locals get too uncomfortable with them, and then they will roam wherever their whims take.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, mate.
It's fine. I survived for a very long time without them, and thanks to your doctor, I'll survive for longer yet.
Hopefully, anyway.
With any luck, certainly. Never know what can happen out here.
No, I think I'm done for questions if everyone else is.
I'm good.
Alright. We'll
I'm good as well. Allow me to lead
send
this.
you a letter in 2 to 3 weeks and...
Allow me to lead this fine pony out, and I'll pick the next one, from whatever random group is down there. Hope you don't mind. Not quite sure who I'll pick.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
this time, Tibbs goes downstairs to return Stalker to the group, and then select.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have Stalker on our team, are we?
We totally are.
I don't know if I like him or not, but I think he could be useful. As long as he doesn't go back to slaving.
Oh, he's a giant unlikable
maybe.
asshole. But
And and just speaking as a DM out of character, he would add to the group dynamic immensely.
well, that's why I
He
picked
really
him.
would.
Maybe being exposed to better individuals will have a positive influence on him too.
Says Tempered Steel, naturally.
I mean, look what this group has done for Powder Keg.
I
Or
thought
what
that was
Powder Keg has
Blinky.
done for this group.
Technically, most of Powder Keg's improvements can be traced back to Blinky.
Blinky has been a lovely influence on Powder Keg.
Really?
They're
And
totally
our-
gonna get married.
Doesn't really seem like that direct of an influence. I don't know.
I think he's calmed
Yes.
down a lot since he's met her to an extent. But he was
does mellow
he was
a bit.
definitely on his way before he met her.
That is true.
She's just sort of solidified the effects.
Solidified.
That's the one. Shut up, been drinking.
So Tibbs, you're downstairs. Who do you want to bring up next?
Or are you just selling?
I'm not selling. I tried last week and it didn't work.
Yeah, Blinky kind of objected to him selling drugs under her roof.
Yeah, that, and I rolled really low as far as persuading others to buy.
Oh. Alright. So,
I will bring up another one of the Steel Rangers, so Sarge or Trip.
Well, it's your decision.
Is there any distinct difference between the two?
Sarge is sort of military careerist looking, and Trip is just kind of got the full suit on and just seems more polite and a little awkward maybe, but
In full power armor, no
Yes,
one
in
knows
full-
you're a cyborg.
yes.
Hi, mate, in the full power armor. Come on upstairs, we're gonna talk
Oh.
to you.
Okay. He sort of woodenly walks, one hoof in front of the other up the stairs, and eventually makes his way over to the interview room. Yeah, you all wanted to see me?
Sure.
Oh, well, okay. What do you want to know?
We're doing interviews. It's really hard.
Yeah, we got the impression from the last three, yeah. So, I guess you want to ask about me then? We didn't really talk that much back when we were in Gold Rush, but
And I don't even know you at all, so,
well,
how about you
you're-
introduce yourself?
You're new. Yeah, I am Trip. Well, since the whole Steel Ranger thing is out of the bag, I'm basically a scout for the Applejacks Rangers in the Maw.
Do you have
Well
ties to
then.
Slayer Base?
Oh yes, I work somewhat closely with Moonlight. I'm more of a liaison than anything else.
Hmm.
You have medical training. Since everyone else seems to be asking that.
I've had a lot of medical professionals work on me, but
Huh?
I'm afraid my augmentations are not really suited towards delicate work like medicine. I'm afraid. I tend.
Augment what now?
Oh, right. He somewhat stiffly goes to lift his helmet off. It takes a little time to unseal and for the pressure inside to hiss and depressurize the suit, but eventually he takes off the Steel Ranger helmet, and you see that a good portion of his face is sort of robotic looking in metal.
Ooh, that looks so cool. It doesn't hurt, does it?
That is literally the first time I've ever heard someone react that way to this.
But
It
it's
is quite
awesome.
technically impressive.
Yes,
Technologically.
I
Speaking
You are-
as a fellow cyborg, I can understand how difficult that can be.
I found it interesting that you have some editions of yourself that yourself, Javolt. But I won't pry. Yes, I was in a very unfortunate accident a long time ago while working for the Steel Rangers, and just enough of me was left that good friend, project director, decided to help put me back together with some new additions to reconstruct me. And I've just, it's actually kind of where I got my nickname Trip, is because for the first few months after I got all these additions, it was hard for me to walk properly.
Oh.
So I
So then-
presume. So, do you know Lilypad then? I presume.
Oh yeah, she stopped by in Gold Rush every so often, and yeah, we're basically points of contact for each other. I inform her about things in the maw and outside, and she does the same, depending on where she's been. Sort of an information.
What's your opinion of her?
Oh, she's remarkably effective, and just got a very good head on her shoulders as well.
Okay, Javolt is going to roll perception.
Okay, sure. Roll perception.
Oh my god, a dice roll.
We've had a couple.
Hold on, let me get this out. And now my
While he's
internet
doing-
freezes.
While he's doing that, I meant to say this a second ago, but then people started talking. At the hard to walk bit, Tibbs' back right leg is going to tense up and raise for a little bit before settling back down.
Flotsam glances at him.
You too, Doctor?
No,
Although not for the same reasons, I imagine.
No, probably not. Just had a bad blow once, and
Oh yeah, that
took a little while.
it tends to stay with you, doesn't it? When it's that bad. I still feel a phantom pain every now and then.
I still feel a lot more than that, but I'm sure it's worse in your case.
Oh, I don't mean to presume or hell turn this into a pity party.
It's not a contest. Everyone hurts in their own special way.
Okay, the internet started working. I got 22 for my perception roll.
Oh, good lord.
Does
Ship.
Does Trip have feelings for Lilypad? Okay, you know.
How did I know that was what you were checking?
Aw,
that invalidates my jerk ship, and that makes me sad.
Your joke ship is already invalidated.
You think there might be the barest hints of a crush, but more of just a professional respect that is hopeful for something more, maybe, but not anything serious.
Right, you're on the team.
What?
No.
Default? Is it because he has tech on his face like you do?
Yes.
Speaking of which, how often do you have to get that worked on?
Actually, it's pretty cool.
I
Most of it,
self-maintain. Oh, you mean him. Sorry.
I know how to take care of most of the parts myself, and a lot of it actually is just kind of self-maintaining. But it helps if I get regular checks every now and again, but for the most part, I can walk just about any wasteland doctor through whatever I need.
Good to know.
What kind of weapons do you got?
Oh gosh, I haven't fought in a very long time. Mostly I just do
There might be combat situations, you see.
yes.
Scratch the mic. There will almost certainly be combat situations.
Well, I don't really have much in the way of guns. Mostly it's just, my augments just give me a great deal of kind of strength and power. And I
Okay.
use those to,
So you can buck a pony.
I can buck a pony. I can also, like, stomp the ground hard enough to cause tremors, even.
Flotsam's jaw hangs open.
Yeah.
Not even my dad can do that.
Yeah. If I find a particularly large rock, I can kick that towards the enemies too. I haven't seen a whole lot of combat since then, but I might have to sort of recheck to see exactly what I'm capable of since it's been so long. But last I checked, I was pretty just capable just on physical strength alone.
Flotsam gives an excited I approve look to the rest of the team.
You said it's been a while, but
Javon
I
gets
assume you
her
have been in
claw
combat
out.
before, correct?
Oh yes. But
Ever had any problems with range?
Well, since entering the Maw, certainly. Back out in the wasteland, no, I preferred to stay at range. But that's not really as much of an option here.
Fair enough. What about those, wicked spears the other Steel Rangers use around here?
Oh yes, the melee armory. I don't know. If there weren't a blockade, I could probably requisition one.
So you might be able to use that if we got one for you.
Oh yeah, melee,
All right,
melee
just-
weapons are good for me, although my augments don't really help with that as much.
Fair enough, just wanted to check.
But yes, I do have plenty of training with the Steel Ranger arsenal. Most of it is useless here, but some of it is relevant. Anything else?
Would Gold Rush manage without you if you were to work with us? For us? Sort of?
I've already let the relevant ponies know that I might be doing this for you guys, and you're recognized wasteland assets of the Steel Rangers. No one would have any objections. My role in Gold Rush was mostly just, I don't know, unofficial guard, but really just friendly resident. And, I didn't really have much of a role in Gold Rush. Just yeah.
But you've been with the Applejacks Rangers, so you're used to working in a team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I mean, I'm used to working with Steel Rangers, and really, there's not a whole lot of difference. Just different goals.
How would you feel about the possibility of possibly working with someone who may or may not have possibly been a former slaver?
I would find that extremely weird. Are they still a slaver?
No, definitely former.
Okay.
Or else.
Well, it's not the worst, dark evil past I've ever heard of, but, I would have some, I guess, reasonable objections.
Hmm.
Oh, I wouldn't blame you for that.
I mean, unless he's like really like proved himself to be totally reformed and stuff. I guess I would find that kind of weird. I mean,
Makes sense. I'm still finding it kind of weird. But he did kind of help me out.
Is it like a sure thing, or?
Not really,
No.
just checking everybody for moral objections.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I guess, I mean, I wouldn't, okay, I would hold objections internally, but I wouldn't be confrontational about it unless his way of doing things went against my morality, like really strongly.
Makes sense.
So, I mean,
Celestia knows we have our conflicts.
if he's willing to, be better for this group, then I would be willing to tolerate him as well. I would do everything I can to work together, as long as, still, former slaver boss.
Yeah. I'm not happy about it either, but he could be useful. Sorry, this is our thing.
There
We need
there
to
are a
decide.
lot of useful bad ponies in the wasteland.
Something I'm learning about being out here, a lot of ponies who you think are bad, sometimes they turn out to be good, given enough time. She glances very surreptitiously over at Tempered Steel.
I don't know, not so much in my experience. Just, good is good, bad is usually pretty bad, and just trying to deal with the gray just kind of gets more ponies killed than anything else.
I wish I could still think like that. Anyway, do we have any more questions for Trip?
I'm good.
I'm quite fine.
Alright, well, I guess I'll be going then.
Allow
He's
me to
going
lead you
give
out.
us-
Okay.
And then as Tibbs gets down to the main lobby, he's gonna go, Oi! You, other Steel Ranger! One that's not wearing the full power armor, come on.
My name is Sarge.
Good to meet you. Now get the fuck upstairs.
Okay, he's not going to join, is he?
Oh boy.
Sarge will
As
just give
soon
you...
as Tibbs re-enters the room, Javolt is going to grab him and say, "That's not very good salesmanship."
I think
Listen,
it was brilliant. Well done.
Don't touch me. I know how to do a sales, and this is not exactly a sales job.
Sorry, you cut
You
out. What
gotta
was
sell
that?
the people who already need the stuff you're selling.
He said, don't touch me. I know how to do sales, and this is not a sales job.
Hey, if Stoker's on the team, he'll need to learn to deal with it sooner or later.
Anyway, Sarge, when you say that, just kind of gives you this sort of quirked eyebrow, weirded out look, but, comes up along without much fuss. And, steps into the room and says, yes. Sarge reporting for duty. What do you need?
Eddie,
Well,
Sarge.
He gives you another weird look again, because this is coming from the same pony that, used vulgarities at him, but, he, relaxes his posture and, goes to take a seat.
Well, you lot know more about this pony than I do. You start asking questions.
You okay, Tibbs?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So, Sarge, we're just kind of asking ponies, some questions and stuff, just to help narrow it down, who we're gonna take on, since we can't take on everyone.
Of course.
Why'd you
You've got
wanna-
to evaluate your roster for your team.
Sure. Why do you want to help us?
Oh, because the call went out and I felt compelled to answer.
So just duty?
Yes. You Dragon Mawlers have demonstrated that you are interested in the greater good, and, well, that is something I find admirable and, within the broader interests of the Steel Rangers. And of course, I've already heard the tale of what happened at the Slayer base, and, I understand it's your intention to help with that situation, so, I suppose there is a bit of a debt there, doubling your debt if you succeed.
So,
If
do
we
you know
succeed.
Lilypad well enough to have an opinion of her?
Oh, Lilypad. Oh, yes, well, she has...
Oh.
Not exactly. I don't know. I haven't worked with her directly on any operations.
But I have such a crush on her. Sorry.
Well, that
Really?
that broke the stride.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But, from what I have heard and what I have seen, and just from speaking with her downstairs for a bit, I have nothing but respect for her, and I think that, she's simply excellent example of what a Star Paladin should be. Discerning, effective, will open to alternative options, yes. Is that all?
Well, we're also kind of wondering, you're a Steel Ranger, right? So, you good at working in a team and stuff?
Oh, certainly. I've been on countless operations as part of the Steel Rangers.
Although,
I've always gotten excellent reviews from my commanding officers.
thing is though, if you did want to come work, on our other team, the folks you'd be working with, they wouldn't all be Steel Rangers. In fact, Lily's pretty much the only Steel Ranger we've got.
Oh, well, I wouldn't presume that a group of non-Steel Rangers would employ all Steel Rangers, all external officers. Of course, you couldn't ask that many Steel Rangers to simply abandon their duties.
No, of course. But
So,
you'd be okay with that? They might have different methods, different moralities.
Well,
Different values.
I would assume that as long as you trust them, as long as, as in some ways my commanding officers, if you place your trust in them and you trust them for the sake of the mission, then I would trust them as well.
So, aside from, like, as a Steel Ranger, do you have a particular skill set that you specialize in?
Well, I am proficient with a wide variety of weaponry, both ranged and melee. Of course, I've had to focus on my melee abilities, during my time here in the Dragon's Maw. I've also got, basic medical training.
Oh, that's good.
And that is about it. Yes, I would say I'm an effective soldier. Of course, things like magic and technology and diplomacy are not so much my strong suits, but out in the wasteland it is better to be well armed than to, well, the other thing.
So, you mentioned it'd be hard to find some Steel Rangers willing to abandon their duty. How do you feel about abandoning yours?
Well, I thought about it for quite a while, and I assumed that there was always a chance that you would not require my services. And if so, the ponies that we currently have at Gold Rush, and our current arrangement with the Famine Gang of the Four Horses Gang, is sufficient enough to protect it for the immediate time being. I also checked in with my superiors, and they gave me the green light for this.
Were you superiors in Slayer Base or someplace else?
Oh, in Slayer Base.
Huh.
Before the blockade went on. And your radio silence.
Flotsam has just gone a bit quiet because she's just looking a bit worried.
Yes, that whole situation concerns me as well, and it is my understanding and my hope that your first action would be to address the blockade situation.
Well,
Yeah.
we're hoping to deal with that situation before we finalize this team and send them off to do missions for us.
Of course. Do you have a plan of action? Can I help in any way?
Flotsam
Tibbs is just gonna scratch the back of his head and go, we've got about 12% of a plan.
Damn it, that's like the only part of the movie I've seen so far. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very nice.
I haven't seen it, so...
That doesn't sound like a plan.
Well, we've gone into situations with no plan before. This is actually a step up.
That's true. I think maybe we could use your help, We're wanting to kind of infiltrate them as friendlies, and you are friendly.
Yes, of course. If we simply get a chance to speak with the leader of this ridiculous blockade, then surely we can convince them to back down and restore order. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, even if we don't ask you to be part of the team, then yes, any help you can give us dealing with that situation would be more than appreciated.
Well, very well.
Something of an aside question. Have you had any problems with Famine's gang lately, after that treaty?
No, we've been producing food, not quite at a surplus, but more than enough to both feed the town and give Famine our increased dues. And that has been sufficient. No raiders bother us, and they actually deal with other sort of incidental threats in the surrounding areas to make sure that we aren't threatened. It's actually... Famine seems to respect a deal.
Interesting. Can't say I've heard of that before.
did say that.
Although, there was one point where, shortly after the new deal was struck, he did... I shouldn't say this with the Philly in the room.
I can cover my
His
ears.
head worse. Trust me.
Yeah.
She's probably done worse.
Heck, yeah.
One morning we discovered just a dead pony in the middle of the town with his mouth sewed shut. Presumably as a reminder by the Femin gang in case we should ever fall behind in our duties. But that...
I'm pretty sure Flotsam has not done worse than that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Blowing ponies up. Getting her mouth sewn shut?
Well, it's...
Anyway.
It is the symbolic gesture of a raider with a deal to enforce, so not so much a threat, so much as a very morbid
Reminder?
reminder, yes. But other than that, no problems. As usual, I have to ask, is there anything else you want to ask him?
Sarge, how do you feel about Stalker?
Pardon?
Stalker, he was one of the ponies we've interviewed already.
Oh, yes, that would be the scarred-looking fellow, right?
Yes.
He looked,
You know how
he looked capable, although certainly, I don't know.
You know how I said about how there might be ponies on the team with different senses of morality?
Did you say that?
I might have alluded to it, briefly.
Well, yes, I wouldn't presume that. No, we've been over this question, actually. If you trust them, I trust them.
Even if they were, previously involved in...
True, but that's for you to consider and to decide on. And if you, in spite of all of that, make the judgment call to go with them for this team, then I will trust your judgment.
Wow, you really trust us like that?
Well, in this instance, you would be my commanding officer. It is only proper protocol.
Huh. Kind of a nice feeling.
Creating dissension in the ranks helps nobody.
Nice feeling, also kind of scary. Well, I don't think I have any more questions. You guys?
I already said Steel's good.
I'm fine.
Well, I haven't been asking many questions anyway, so yeah. Let's move on to the next one then.
Alright.
This time, Steel will escort him from the room.
Okay, you send, you accompany Sarge down the stairs. The group downstairs, it's starting to get, late in the day, and the group downstairs is, just starting to kind of get more chill and nursing a drink or two and just generally just kind of waiting patiently.
And he will find Zephyr and go up to him. Hey, would you mind coming upstairs?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah,
right.
I'll come up.
He will lead Zephyr up to the interview room.
Zephyr comes in and says, hey, nice to see you guys so soon again.
Hello. How's your wing doing?
It's still healing.
Huh?
So,
It'll be a few days.
You had Firelight ticket out?
Not yet. I should probably do that soon, actually.
He's
yeah.
good with that kind of stuff.
I don't know, I don't like doctors that much, to be honest. I always get nervous.
well, he's a good one.
Well, yeah, I guess if he was, with you guys at the time, yeah.
So, on the subject of how you're doing, how is Excalibur handling the way things are shaping up?
He's doing alright. He's a little miffed about how things went down there, and after, with Slick leaving, 10 Paces starting to reconsider, he's kind of having a hard time. But, he's, we've been talking, I don't know, he's just still really awesome, and I'm pretty sure he can find his own way no matter what happens.
You and him go way back, right?
We go a little ways back. I mean, Black Lotus was in the Maw for quite a while. We were first working in, started out in Ribcage. It was actually Excalibur's group, but the original Black Lotus kind of fell apart, and I was just kind of, exploring on my own, and, he brought me on, and we've been working together.
Huh. Say, what's it like in Ribcage?
it is so cool. It's a city like built out of a dragon skeleton.
Ooh.
Actually, like several of them, like a bunch more have been looted and made into like more structures. So it's all like bone and mortar, and it's like just like the most like you're not gonna see a place like Ribcage anywhere else in the Wasteland. It is so just awesome, just awesome. And the ponies
And
there.
what are the people like?
Ponies.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
maybe we should hold this off and ask at a later point because it's kind
Oh,
of
but I can talk for hours about Ribcage.
right.
The ponies there are all like just like this is just this like totally like lawless sort of just like everyone there is a total just like bad flank, awesome pony who will just as soon as stab you as look at you, and it's just like it's just this like you just being there and surviving is just awesome.
Well, my point is, yes, I mean, it'll be great if you could tell us about it later, but right now I'm thinking maybe if we don't go for hours off topic.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, you can tell us about it later.
Maybe another time. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
later.
Doctor.
Like,
So, a Pegasus out here in the mall. Don't see that too often.
I don't see Pegasus too often anywhere, but not, I had, Pegasus on my mom's side. It happens. They're more than you think, actually, really.
So you're not Enclave or anything.
No, I'm not a Dashite. I'm probably like the descendant of like a Dashite, like a couple, 2 or 3 generations ago, but
But you're surface dweller all the way. Like me.
my mom didn't really know my grandparents that well, so. Anyway. Yeah. Anything else other than the fact that I'm a Pegasus?
well, do you know Lilypad well enough to have an opinion of her?
Who?
Okay, so you don't know Lilypad then.
Do you know Stalker well enough to have an opinion?
I was chatting with him earlier. He seems like a pretty cool dude.
Would you be fine working with him?
I don't see why not.
Okay then.
Although it kind of sucked if I had to leave like Excalibur all alone or something. I mean, I
were wondering.
I think he'll be fine. It's just, I don't know.
Be better off if he has someone he knows to help keep him stable.
Well, me or Paces, or maybe he can just like go with Slick up to 10 pony or something. Just find a new start, and I don't know. I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, we've had awesome adventures, but I mean, we were always talking about how once we raided all the dragon's treasures, we were going to go separate ways and live just lives of wealth and decadence anyway. So at least that's how he put it.
Huh.
I mean, he's got some stuff now. He might be able to do that still. I don't know.
Can I have Steel make a perception check?
Sure.
To perceive regardless of what he's actually saying with his words, whether he
Do you think he's bluffing a bit?
Yes, whether he's bluffing and whether he's genuinely worried about what will happen with Excalibur if Excalibur doesn't have someone he knows to help keep him from falling apart.
All right.
It's 12. I'm thinking I might want to re-roll that.
Yeah, that's not really going to get you anything.
Okay, yeah, I will use a re-roll. That's even worse.
Wow. You can't really tell anything about whether or not he is bluffing. He just seems to genuinely believe that Excalibur will be okay. You just take him at face value.
Tibbs is going to do the same thing, but in the meanwhile, he's going to ask, so, that was his plan for what to do with all the fortune. What was your plan?
Well, honestly, that sounded pretty good to me.
Is that why you became a prospector?
Well,
To kind of...
I mean, really, why does that, anyone become like a big old adventurer traveler thing in the wasteland anyway? It's just to become mad rich, right?
Not always.
Because there's always, stuff to loot, old world treasures to be found, and these happen to be the oldest and the most valuable.
Ooh, that's a much better roll.
It helps that I get +10 to check if someone's lying.
Wait, do you?
Yeah, I do. It's, let me think of it. I have it written down as, I know that Twitch, but,
Well,
let me get the
Well, so that'd actually be a 31 then, wouldn't it?
If he's lying, which he kind of is.
Actually, I did the math wrong. It'd be a 26, not a 31.
Right. Right.
Okay, 20.
You notice that his when he talks about how Excalibur is going to be okay, and his plans and how they are going to turn out now, you notice that his gaze is kind of not meeting you directly in the eyes. That he seems to be telling more himself than anything else. He really wants to believe that Excalibur will be okay, and on some level perhaps he's convinced himself of it, but there's definitely lingering and probably very reasonable doubts.
Fair enough. So, didn't exactly get a chance to see it much, but how well do you handle yourself in combat?
Man, the suit thing we got, I think it was this cache, near, just a little bit north of Ribcage that we found these cool exosuits in. And this one, really enhances my Pegasus abilities. I can fly really fast when I want to. And, I can, generate a shield that protects me from damage. It's really cool. And generally I'm just, really, just enhances a bit my strength, too. I mean, it's just an awesome piece of tech. I can live out of this thing. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it, make tornadoes on command, but I don't think it'll take too long for me to figure that out.
Ooh.
Maybe Steel could teach you a thing or two about it.
Ooh. Can you make...
I doubt.
What? You whipped up a sandstorm like it was nothing with that fancy hammer of yours.
Well, I mean, it's possible, but I'm not sure because all I know is that the hammer works. I really don't know the logistics of how.
Well, maybe it's made with Pegasus magic. Maybe he can figure something out from looking at it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe we can talk about it
later. Can I take a look at it later? Please?
Well, yeah, we can look at it more and discuss it later.
Okay.
While we're getting around to you telling us more about Ribcage.
Now or later?
No, I'm talking about, and I'm not trying to say this is a throw it off and never actually get it to it. I'm saying, we can get to all this other stuff later.
Okay.
Right,
We can talk about it over drinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've already had a little bit, but... so is the interview over then, since we don't seem to be talking about anything else?
Yeah, I think so.
Seem to have a good idea what you can do. I mean, it helps that we saw you already.
Yeah, I mean, we worked a little bit together.
And you have that cool weapon from Smaug's trove, right?
Oh yeah. Where did I put that?
You didn't lose it, did you?
Pretty sure he suddenly looks kind of worried. Shit, did I leave it back at the... Ooh. Can I be excused?
You might want to go... Yeah.
Okay, Tempered Steel will lead him back down.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Hokey Pokey going, this isn't my mop.
Alright, and then, Tempered Steel will find Excalibur next.
Oh, well, okay.
Would you mind coming up and talking with us?
Sure, fine. He, rather just kind of not at any particularly swift or slow pace, just very coolly walks up the stairs after you, his expression somewhat lethargic and apathetic.
What's the matter, mate? Need a bit of kick in your system?
Shut up. What do you want?
Well, first, how are you holding up?
Well, how do you think? My team's about to go in all different directions on me, and, my dragon hunting days are probably over.
How would you feel about being part of a team that you're not the direct leader of?
Well, no. Apparently no one seems to like me in the leadership role, so I guess that's my options then.
Not everyone's good at being a leader. Nothing to, worry about. Imagine if I was...
I like being the leader, though.
How come? What do you like about it?
Well, just because when you're that guy, it makes things simpler. I mean, you got all the ideas. ideally you find the right people to, who work with you best and don't have a problem with what you're generally aiming for. And I don't know, I just like being the take charge guys. Like, we're going to do this now, and everyone else goes, okay, and then we just go do it, and it's simple as that.
Is that how it was with the group before Zephyr joined you?
Kind of just looks very awkward at that and doesn't answer, looking away and down at the ground.
Alright, I won't press about it.
So, how would you feel working for us, specifically?
It's hard not to think you guys ruined my life.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Oh, that's a perfectly fair assumption. I mean, I saw that treasure too, mate.
I know. There was so much gold.
And all it would have cost you is your mortality.
Okay, I get it. It was irradiated. Fine, but for a second, all of my dreams flashed across my eyes, and it was just right there.
Question. What did you want all that money for anyway?
Why would anyone want that much money?
No, I think it's a good question.
He kind of rocks back and forth in the chair a bit and finally says, so I wouldn't have to worry about money again.
Really? That's it?
Did you have to worry about money before much?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Flotsam's gaze softens a little.
Tibbs is going to kind of give a blank stare to the others in the room and go, really? This coming from the group who doesn't know how to spend half of its caps.
What?
Well, I spent most of mine.
Hey, Excalibur. I'm sorry I kicked you in the shin. I was mad about you hurting Igor. I guess it wasn't entirely your fault because of the curse. Does weird things to you. So, I'm sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sorry about punching you in the face, though. Sorry about tackling you, but not about punching you in the face.
Oh, well, la-dee-da.
So, do you know Lilypad well enough to have an opinion of her?
Who?
Okay, so you don't know
Steel
her.
Ranger.
Which Steel Ranger? There were like 3 in there.
The
Do you have
Star
any opinions
Paladin.
on Steel Rangers in general?
They're kind of buzzkills, aren't they? I mean, really.
We were asking you, mate.
They're kind of buzzkills in my experience. I don't know about these ones specifically, but in my experience, you meet a Steel Ranger, they're like, no fun allowed, and then you're on your way.
Alright, and what about the other side on the whole good-bad morality chain?
The other side of what?
Slavers,
feel about
raiders,
Stilton?
etc. How do you feel about them?
Oh, well, they just kind of suck. I mean, really, there's nothing really good about them. I mean, it's fun to kill them. There's no real guilt involved.
What about former raiders, slavers, etc.?
That's okay. That's kind of gray area, but I mean, if it's like a pony who's like killed a lot of people but is trying to get away with it under a new name, that's like just kind of dumb. That guy doesn't really deserve to live. But I mean, if it's just like, the sob story of, oh, I regret all my wrongdoings and blah blah blah, then okay, fine. Give him a chance, maybe.
Yeah.
Just gonna let this awkward silence sit in for a few minutes.
What?
Flotsam
What?
is quite
What did I say?
pointedly not looking at Steel. Yeah.
What did I... What?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's okay.
Okay.
So,
What would...
you go ahead, Flotsam.
Now, Flotsam's been asking lots of questions.
Flotsam's so good at asking questions.
She is. If, perchance, you were to work for us, what sort of compensation would you want?
Your guys are offering compensation now?
We're not sure. We have yet to figure out the specifics.
Notice-
We're working out details.
Notice my highlighting of the word if.
Well, caps are always nice. Loot is always also nice. I don't know, just I don't know. I don't want to work for free.
No, sure. I mean, you'd get loot that you find, that much is certain.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
You said you don't
Unless it
enjoy it,
already
but you
belongs
can
there.
take orders, correct?
It's been a while, but yes, I can.
And you can give shit back if the orders are dumb?
Yes, absolutely.
Alright. It's fine with me. That's all I've got to ask.
I'm wondering, well, what'll you do if you don't work for us? With us, whatever.
I'm still thinking.
Where will you go? Huh?
I'm still thinking about it.
Fair enough.
I don't know, it depends on if you take any of the other guys. Honestly, what I might end up doing is just sticking around in Skyfall for a while. Maybe join up with the Skyfall Guard as like a scout or, soldier or something if they need it.
Really?
Chase kind of talked to me about it, and it seems like an okay fallback. There's some pay involved. It's not great, but
It's pay you're worried about. I could always use another runner.
runner.
Yeah, runner.
I have a giant magical spear. I am not a courier.
Clearly you don't know the clientele I work with.
Even then,
Or the stuff he has to
besides,
transport.
I've had my fill of working for drug dealers anyway.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Huh. Then that's probably a story for another day, if at all.
if at all. Yeah.
So, for what it's worth, I think you'd be a really good guard. You've already got the awesome armor.
Problem is, how would I just not kill myself out of boredom?
This is Skyfall. Plenty of stuff's gonna be happening here. Hopefully less now that we're leaving. Hopefully.
Hey, maybe more.
Oh boy.
Yeah, if big bogey pony executive starts coming over here, sure, I'll get the chance to kill some ponies just to de-stress. And there's always raiders that, can just go screw themselves. It's just gonna be...
You kinda need... Sorry.
No, it's fine, go.
You kinda need to, fight and kill ponies to kind of get by, right? I'm not knocking it. I'm the same way.
Fighting I just want, to be awesome, have ponies appreciate me for it, And fighting is just like the best way to do that out here. It's just like you kill ponies that are, threatening other ponies, then every pony loves you. They'll give you all you want. Look what it did to you guys.
Flotsam looks immediately guilty.
And you guys are, basically have the keys to the city right now.
We're not in the best of Chase's books at the moment. We tend to bring a lot of trouble as well as fixing it.
Yeah, well, basic principles still the same.
Yeah, I guess we got lucky. It's not always like that, Of course you know. You've been a prosecutor.
Sure it's not. No, sometimes you just get crap luck and no payout.
Yeah. We should hang out later.
I don't know if we should.
Oh, okay.
At the very least, we'll buy you a drink later.
I wouldn't mind that.
Lots of nods.
Is that it?
It's all from me.
Alright.
I think it's gonna get depressing if we ask any more questions. Who's gonna see him out?
No one wants to.
Okay, I guess it's me this time.
Alright.
We've been taking turns.
Flotsam escorts Excalibur back down the stairs where he just goes back to the bar and goes back to his drink he left behind. And then immediately shouts, "Hey! Who drank the rest of my glass?"
Not it.
And Zephyr just kind of innocently whistles. So who do you want next?
Who do you want next, guys?
I know we haven't interviewed everyone, but
If you're,
we don't want to
you don't have to interview anyone. It's just
I'm of the minds. I'm at the point where.
Do you guys think we have enough info to make our decisions and we can do the rest of the interviews off screen?
Yeah. We're honestly asking the same, 4 or 5 questions at this point to basically everyone.
And,
just like a real employer.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
and the rest of them. Torque we know well enough, and he was never a candidate that we considered seriously. Look out and Stronghoof, they were off the list. Flail, I think.
Yeah, I think we sort of had decided previously. We've asked questions of everyone. We should go this with, but.
If nothing else, this was more an excuse to find out some more about these characters just in general, in case we never see them again.
I love what we found out about Excalibur and Zephyr.
I know, right?
Totally need to have drinks
yeah,
with them.
and at this
No,
point, I'm
Flotsam.
Aww.
also
You get your
Also-
cough syrup and you enjoy it.
All right. At this point, finally,
probably talk to Lily Pad.
Lilypad kind of knocks on the door frame into the side room and says, "You guys free?"
Yep.
Sure.
Hey, Lily.
Hello. Huh.
So, what you thinking?
Well, I'm willing to go along with this on a trial basis.
That's fair.
That sounds reasonable for now.
I think it's a good concept, but I don't know if it will necessarily work out as well as you think it might. But if it does work out, then it'll be great. If it doesn't, then we can just go our separate ways and, deal with our own respective problems. So, yeah, if whoever you've got in mind, I would be willing to be sort of a leader. I think I would have a light touch to a leadership role, but I would be willing to take up that mantle for you.
It might end up being
after
more.
we deal with the Slayer base blockade.
Of course. I mean, in the end, it might end up being more like a referee role than a leader. But the level-headed one who's expected, or
Very well. But one thing at a time, I suppose.
right.
Well, who do you have in mind so far?
Stalker.
Really?
You had to
I
say
agree.
that one first, didn't you?
I agree with Zenkan.
The slaver boss? Well, not so much a
He
slaver
has-
I
boss
personally
anymore.
don't think that he should be on the team, but there have been arguments.
Well, I can see it. I can honestly see it.
He's had dealings with the executive as well, which could be helpful.
There's a lot of, he provides a lot of unique assets.
Oh, that's a good point. He could provide inside information.
Yeah.
I've been saying this.
He's definitely useful, but a liability, but then again, you guys are a liability. So,
Yeah, we are. Oh,
I
that's-
take offense at that.
well,
sort of.
mostly Powder Keg, and Javolt, and Tempered Steel, and
Just all of
and
us, basically.
Zenkarn.
Hey! What did
Hey,
I
I
do?
know
Been around enough
what
to
you
consider
do.
a liability.
I should probably stop. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, we're not all sure about Stalker. I'm not sure about Stalker.
alright,
But-
who else?
10
Short
paces,
circuit,
I think.
short circuit.
Short circuit and 10 paces, I
The
think.
Philly and the Minotaur.
Muscle
Yeah,
and brains.
Are you trying to create some kind of mirror group of yourselves or something?
Flotsam
No,
looks
not
stunned because
intentionally.
she hadn't thought about it like that yet.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my
I-
God.
that wasn't what I was shooting for. And besides, I'm not sure what mirror role you would fill.
Suppose not, but it just seems a little uncanny.
Are you kidding? Like there was anyone down there who's as handsome as me.
Alright, that you get a chuckle out of Lilypad for that. Only a sensible chuckle though.
That's all I was
Okay,
going for.
so-
It's just a joke.
Okay, so maybe we should think about this talk about this out of character rather than in character as we try and figure.
the discussion will go on. I just hope this
Yeah,
helps
I
you.
mean those four are the solid. Those four are pretty much our solid four, right?
Lilypad, Short Circuit, 10 Paces, and Stalker seem to be, well, not completely indisputable, but definitely the most popular choices, and seems the best fit for each other in many ways.
Yeah.
Just in
I mean,
terms of variety and the character matchups.
That, and if we needed to, we could just go with those four since it's a 4 to 6. So if we can't pick out a fifth and or sixth member, that could be potentially the team right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Just to confirm, who have we got so far?
Lilypad, Short Circuit, 10 Paces, and Stalker. Those seem to be...
Honestly, if we were gonna put two more in, then yeah, Zephyr and Excalibur.
Zephyr and Excalibur, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at the very least, I wouldn't want to split up Zephyr and Excalibur, especially since we're taking 10 paces, because that
Yeah.
would be... It's been pretty well
Yes.
laid out that would lead bad places.
Yes.
Oh, I meant to say this. When Tibbs figured out the pseudo bluff, he told the rest of the group as soon as Zephyr left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and also,
I forgot to mention that.
Also, a side note that, I mean, provided that they did actually bring Copper Wire up to interview him, I'm imagining Tempered Steel would have found a reason to excuse himself while that was going on. So.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, the interviews seem to be over. Although I was given the impression before the session started that there was some other general upkeep, miscellaneous tasks you guys wanted to attend to, besides the interviews.
Well, I know Flotsam wanted to do one or two very, very minor things, and Erna Zenkarn, were you still wanting to go and look in on the new library ponies?
I mean, yes, but at this point, I think in character, my other thought would be, let's go find someone to lay down and not be conscious anymore.
All right.
Fair.
Flotsam,
Well, I don't want to.
What do you? Well, I mean, the interviews have wound down, and basically, if there's nothing else to do, and all that's left is just the discussion on the B team, we would probably end up calling it a session.
Yeah, okay.
Then maybe take care of any other side things at the beginning of the next session.
I'd rather if there's just miscellaneous stuff, just because this is just a casual mini session. I'd prefer to deal with it in person and in character. So.
I'm saying about take care of any of that side stuff at the beginning of the next session.
I'd rather get right to business at the beginning of the next session. So.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've been overly vocal in this session anyway, so I don't want to, take more time away from...
I'm interested to know what you want to deal with, because I don't know.
Okay. Well, for one thing, Flotsam, and if anyone else wanted to come with, wanted to go and see Silver Wrench, because I seem to recall Silver Wrench saying he was going to try and get in touch with Gold Rush, and I wanted to see if he'd managed to do that.
Oh.
Tibbs will follow, because he has some other... He wants to go around town, too.
All right.
That's a thought actually. If Flotsam and Tibbs are going together, Flotsam actually had something she wanted to talk to Tibbs about. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Would that be okay with you, Dan?
Absolutely.
It's not a private thing, so I mean, if other people are there, that's fine too. Because I thought, were you saying something, Jawa?
Well, yeah, I can wait until you guys are done with that. I did have one thing in mind that Tempered Steel might end up doing.
Yeah, we can get around to all that stuff. We still got time.
Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
Just the grab bag of little stuff you guys want to do. We can do that. Just
as far
in
as
order.
Okay, now as far as the B team goes, at this point, all it is really is deciding pretty much whether we want to add Excalibur and Zephyr to the solid four.
That is a suggestion that has come up, and there hasn't been any alternative suggestions, but there could be.
I personally feel like 4 or 5 would be a better choice. Keep the group small. And if we did add a 5th member, I would think Trip, personally.
Actually, I kind of would as well. Flotsam definitely likes him for it.
Yeah, after these interviews, Trip to...
Yeah.
These interviews, thank you so much for these, because this has actually helped a lot. At least, I enjoyed it a lot as well.
I enjoyed it and found it helpful, so... Yay.
Okay.
So yes, we're dealing with Flotsam wanted to go and talk to Silver Wrench, and in the meantime, Tibbs along the way, they wanted to have a chat. So let's do it.
Say, Tibbs?
What is it, little Sheila?
Flotsam. It's back. Well, I never really got to say. I never really had the chance to. Well, I did, but I forgot. Anyway, you gave up your chems for us, just to avoid us having to have a struggle or anything on the way to Tannis's lair, so I just wanted to say thanks for that, You didn't need to, and yeah, thanks.
Well, it's better than getting in a fight with some no-good raiders.
Depends who you ask. But, listen, I was thinking about something. Well, see, one of the raiders, the one we were talking to, because you were saying that you were a dealer, and then he was like, are you the dealer? Do you know what the heck he was talking about? Who's the dealer?
Not entirely sure. All I know is I have a large and wide business, and the mall's been a great customer to me.
So, it's not you he was talking about or anything?
Not as far as I know.
Fair enough. Also, and, tell me to shut up if you want, because I'm really bad at this, but, the other thing you did for us, telling that truth to the lens, thanks for that, and I'm real sorry about what happened to your friend.
It's fine. It's long past.
I mean, I guess you wouldn't want to talk to us about it. You don't know us very well, but if you ever did, we have experience with dealing with tragic backstories, so, let us know.
Well, it's not that tragic. Just
Sounded kind
not
of
something
tragic.
I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I saw the way you went off it. Anyway, yes. But thanks for all you've done for us so far.
It's no problem. Nothing I wouldn't do for no group of friends, right?
You really think of us as friends?
Well, I don't think of you as enemies.
Good
I
enough.
suppose.
You didn't try to kill me at first sight, so... And despite, not being particularly fond of my business, you haven't tried to kill me for that, so...
Oh, ponies need chems. I think it's just Steel who has a problem with that.
He'll get over it eventually.
Sure, I mean, he seems to like alcohol now, so that's a start.
Can't stand the stuff myself, but, yeah, seems to be a start.
I thought everyone liked alcohol.
No, it's not a great drink. It just never appealed to me. Then again, never try your own substances, am I right?
I guess so.
Tibbs, are you selling drugs to Flotsam?
Yeah,
In this
for
case,
example,
very much no.
In this
For
case,
example-
he's actually being kind of a responsible adult.
Tibbs, the
I know what you
responsible drug dealer.
Don't buy drugs,
Yeah.
kids, unless it's from me, and then buy loads.
What was that quote from Love Actually? Don't buy drugs, become a rock star, and they give them to you for free.
Anyway.
Tibbs is following this conversation. He's going to pat Flotsam on the head and go, "You remind me of a good friend of mine."
Really?
Absolutely.
Is that a good thing?
Yes, it's a good thing.
Okay then.
Alright,
Thank
you
you.
finally come up on Silver Wrench's little cabin on the ship. Cabin house thing.
Silver Wrench, you in?
He after a little bit the door swings open and you see him. Oh, yes, hello. Hello again.
Hey, Silver Wrench.
Thanks for getting me out of jail and whatnot.
You're welcome. Was everything okay with you? You didn't get into too much trouble with the backlash after the backstab curse?
No, it just got a little bit, really weird, but, I mean, there was one point, died down the way, and he points down the hallway towards, one of the other, residences, but,
Oh.
he says, well, it ultimately, I didn't run into any trouble. It was just scary, that's all.
I'll bet. I mean,
In a town
really
that's had much reason to be scared in the last few days.
yeah.
But
Feels like we've
it's,
got trouble here.
it's been a long day. Just tired.
Sure. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but, when we last saw you, I remembered you mentioned you might try and get in touch with Gold Rush. I was just wondering if you managed to get through to them.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, little Philly. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet.
No, that's okay. I just thought I'd check.
I mean, I had just gotten out of, the brig, and then
Exactly.
and then all this happened, and it's just I haven't really had the time to set up the proper channels for that. So I'm sorry, I don't have anything for you.
No, that's absolutely... I just wanted to check, any information,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
no.
fine. We're
Yes.
probably going to be able to look into it ourselves soon. Hopefully.
Oh,
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay, I'll still see what I can do, but I don't know how much I'll be able to find out over the radio. So
Well, thanks. I mean, if you do find out anything, would you be able to let us know?
I could probably send it up to DJ Smack Talk.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, sure, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is kind of
She glances at Tibbs and then just kind of looks self-conscious and then looks back at Silver Wrench.
I'm kind of thinking that, Chase is kinda not mad at us exactly, but he's been having to put up with a lot because of us, and
Well,
do you know if there's any...
I don't think Chase, like, really directly blames you. It's just, I don't know, he's actually really kind of a reasonable guy.
Oh, I know. That's why I like him so much. He's really level-headed, and he shares all the work, and he's a great
We're
guy.
just guilty
and
by association.
Yeah, it's, it's...
No, look, this is our fault. This is entirely our fault. I don't blame him if he was mad at us.
You ultimately did the area good by getting rid of the curse. It's just, I mean...
Sure, but things got massively
did you expect
screwed
the
up
dragon
because we went in.
to cause all that stuff to happen?
Sure, but we went in without a plan. It's just like when we started up the ship and almost got it blown up. It's just, we tried to do these good things.
It snuck up on you. It snuck up on all of us. And no one, like, yeah, you're connected, but no one really directly blames you for that because you've always dealt with it.
Thanks, Silver Wrench.
At least that's what I think, and I think a lot of people around here feel that way as well. Yeah, you're kind of a little bit, there's a bit of mixed feelings, but overall positive. And
yeah.
don't think for a second it's anything less than that.
Thank you. I mean, it's nice to know. I still think there's a lot we should still do.
Hey, by all means, I mean, don't think you get to, no one gets to rest on their laurels around here.
Heck yeah. No, I was just wondering, I mean, I wasn't planning on sleeping much tonight, and I was just wondering, is there anything that needs doing around the systems, to help with the system restore? I'm good with technology, you see.
Well, the system is actually fine, except, it needs some electronics replaced that we don't really have enough of. But that's something that just has to be scavenged over time. And most of the system's not really relevant unless most of the hardware is also back online. So that's going to take a lot of scrap metal, a lot more, sophisticated tech to find.
Well, seeing as we're about to hit up a Steel Ranger base, we can probably get something.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, no promises. I mean, they're Steel Rangers still. But
I could probably talk to some of the other engineers in the morning and drop a sort of a scavenger list of critical parts.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
that,
if you happen to find stuff, then I don't know how much of it you'll reasonably find out there, but I mean,
hey,
anything to help.
Yeah.
Never hurts to ask.
All right. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I don't know. I mean, we've already got scavenger teams kind of working out there. Especially now that the curses are gone, we're actually sending a lot more out now.
Wow, awesome!
But
mostly for safe from...
scrap and supplies. But yeah, anyway.
Just as long as they're keeping safe from the raiders and the slavers and the stuff. Well, just raiders now, I guess. Anyway. Thanks for your help.
Yeah,
I'll swing by tomorrow morning before we go. How's that?
Yeah, I'll try to have something for you by then.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. And he says goodnight and closes the door.
Cool.
So you need to get in contact with some folks in Gold Rush, huh?
Yeah. What?
Well, I happen to have in my possession a bit of chemically treated paper that I made myself. And provided that I know a pony well enough, I can send it to him. So, you tell me about them folks in Gold Rush, we might be able to get a message up there.
Wow, really?
Absolutely.
Gosh. Huh. That's really cool. Should probably double check with the others exactly what we should say, though. I mean, it's me. I'm not great with tact.
Understandable.
I might say the wrong thing.
Alright, since that seems to be winding down, Jawa, you said you had something you wanted Tempered Steel to do?
Yes, he was just going to go and check quickly to make sure Chica is doing all right in jail.
I'll go with him.
Oh, good. Yes, good thinking.
I figured someone was going to want to get around to that at some point. So, since you're the ones who brought her in, you are allowed to visit the changeling Chica while she's in jail, and you find her just kind of sitting dejectedly on her cot, with across from her is a plate of, prison food that has been barely touched.
No appetite?
I mean, food kind of helps, but it's not really what we need. So what do you want?
I just wanted to make sure they were treating you all right down here.
Like I figured they would be. All these ponies are kind of scared of me. They're not being mean, but they are being...
Overly cautious?
Yeah. Think I might just do some kind of daring escape or something.
Yeah, you look in the mood for a daring escape attempt.
Or, suck the life out of them like some kind of vampony.
I don't know a great deal about, changelings, but I can't say I've ever heard that rumor before.
Nah, a lot of ponies haven't heard of them, but, when they see our true forms, they tend to make assumptions. There's a lot of... She actually kind of smirks a little bit. There's a lot of old world literature written about the changelings. They were a mystery then, and a lot of old world writers had a lot of theories about us.
I guess I'll mention of that.
I guess I'll have to keep my eyes open for anything I find that's relevant.
Most of it's untrue.
Anything in the library?
I did my best to keep the literature about changelings out of the library, as you might understand.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I can see why you might have done that.
But there is a small private collection at the library, and the lodge above it.
Thank you. Noting that one down.
I suppose I don't really have a claim to it anymore, since I'm an incarcerated citizen.
Well, there's still hope you might get out of here and you'll have a chance to have it again.
I'm pretty sure that ponies who kill him, even in self-defense, do not just get away scot-free.
Well, maybe not scot-free.
And especially not changelings.
Well, I mean...
But let's be honest, you don't really deserve to be here.
I mean, a lot of what happened
was
the response. I mean, a lot of what happened
You sure
was
I
the
don't?
response.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was the backstab curse. If that hadn't happened, a lot of things wouldn't have happened, so...
I slit my husband's throat.
When he tried to kill you, because he couldn't handle the fact you weren't exactly what was in his pretty little head.
And you aren't the only individual who tried to kill someone over the backstab curse. It's... I mean, I know it's...
But I was of a sober mind at the time.
Look, honestly, the worst thing you tried to do, the worst thing you did was lie about it. You tried to frame someone else and back out. And no.
And you came clean about that. You didn't have someone, dig it up. I mean, you panicked. People make stupid decisions when they panic.
You guys dug it up.
Yeah, well, we have a knack of stumbling onto things.
Raising ponies from the dead to you have to have them answer questions for you.
That's his
I'm
thing.
sorry if you find that disrespectful.
Honestly, I don't know how to feel about any of it anymore. Mostly, I don't really feel anything.
Because you can't, or because you don't want to?
Little of column A, a lot of column B.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Well, look, I can't say I blame you at all for wanting to hide your true identity, because I've tried to do the same thing myself. It's just, at least who I used to be.
You're different. You're a different being in Equestria, and believe me, I know how much that sucks.
Most ponies, minotaurs even, can just change their names, go somewhere where they aren't known, and for us, it's every day is a lie. take on a form that truly isn't ours. We don't have anything that connects us to who we really are. You'll have to sacrifice all that just to survive. To the point that I don't really know who I am anymore.
On the risk of sounding incredibly cliche, I really need to start reading those types of books. Really, it comes down to who you want to be. Like, you have to make a decision and stick with it.
You can imagine that my decision-making process is a little hampered right now. As true as that is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
In this moment, I can't decide whether I want to decide I'm some pony who doesn't care because that hurts less, or decide I do care because the alternative is just horrifying.
Did you love him?
I did.
Then care. You owe him that much. Yes, he tried to kill you, and frankly, that's disgraceful, but he did care for you until the end. Only seems fair you do the same.
Can I make a perception roll to try and get a read on her?
Okay.
Actually, can we
Yeah,
do that?
You can do that. Although I will say that she's definitely harder to read than a normal pony.
Well, knowing my role.
Oh, wow.
Well, I got a
No,
14.
she's-
I'm going to use my second reroll of the session to reroll that.
Okay.
And I got a 26.
Oh, wow, that's a natural 19. Okay. So, you get an inkling that Zenkarn's words have had an effect on her. That she on some level she seems to just primarily agree, and that she'll take that sort of idea to heart of choosing to care and choosing to remember the happier bits, even though they might hurt more, because it might give her just a glimmer of hope for the future. So, and she takes a deep breath and turns away and just sort of stares off into space.
So if we end up making a return trip, anything we can bring you?
Some pony to love.
Chica, stop getting in on your own shipping.
Nope.
Stop it.
No, not saying it. You can't make me.
Roll.
Somebody to love.
Roll horse sense.
Just Zenkarn?
Just
Zenkarn.
straight up.
Just straight up
horse
horse
sense.
sense.
Ugh.
Both
You
of us are
hate
just
me.
Zenkarn.
You hate me
You-
so much, Spud.
Yeah, it's just, it had something.
20. I'm sorry.
Chica
No, I
glances towards Zenkarn as if noticing something peculiar about him.
Oh god, what do I do? Guys, quick suggestions.
You were the one who started this shipping thing. Actually, no, you weren't, but you jumped right on.
There was a bandwagon. I chased it.
And now you're here.
And what
Start
have we learned
talking
about
explosives
bandwagons?
like powder. It clearly works.
Immediately start rambling about books.
You know, certain components of love can be found in books. Wait, shit, no.
I say that exactly as you said it.
Okay. And she just cocks her head at you and lets out this big sigh and finally just turns away from the cell wall altogether and lays down on her cot.
Chica knows she's being shipped. She doesn't approve.
I blame everyone else.
I have never made any vocal approval about this.
Not vocal.
So
I
So
blamed in immediately.
I'm just saying, I get no blame.
Dark Monkey says, you were golden.
I pushed Dark Monkey off his stool.
Off of his mental stool.
Oh.
I'm sorry, mental stool.
I was wondering if that had been your original intention. Alright. So, anything else you want to say? She's facing away from you, but doesn't seem to be requesting for you to leave just yet. It's still your decision.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't think you need to be in here any longer than, well, much longer than already has been. So
So what?
we'll see what we can do. But if it's planned, well, maybe you won't have to hang around in this city for much longer.
So, I travel with you guys?
It's not an
An
impossibility.
option?
Well, I'm lacking options.
Well,
I mean, who knows? Maybe
let's focus on
maybe-
getting you out of here first, and then we can figure out the rest of it.
Sure.
We don't have a great record of long-term planning.
You have a great... Yes.
Somehow I get that impression, yes.
But good at what we do.
In your case, raising the dead, right?
Yeah, among other things.
Oh, and what would those other things be?
Let's see, well, we've got necromancy, which we covered. I'm a hoarder of books when I can be.
Yeah,
so I've read quite a bit.
Oh,
and
he has an obsession with books, I hear.
I'm sorry, is Tempered Steel Zenkarn's wingman all of a sudden?
Heck yeah.
I'm not trying.
Dark Monkey, make that happen. Sorry. I think it's working. Works for me. Don't know if it works for him, but it works for me.
You know, honestly, it could be worse.
It could be Javolt.
It could be Jamal. Right.
No offense, Weaver.
Javolt, the only one not shipping her.
I blamed the chat, everyone else, immediately. Anyway, sorry.
Alright.
I mean, if nothing, no. Oh.
Right now, I don't think I want to have anything to do with books.
Oh well. Most of them kept back at Gold Rush anyway, so.
Tempered Steel kind of looks awkwardly around.
An awkward silence reigns over the ship's brig.
Sorry.
Reign supreme and a 1,000-year reign.
I have a question.
Sorry.
This is somewhat
reading
related.
the Mental Collective, and it's not helping for ideas. At all.
Is it safe to assume that other people who have succumbed to the backstab curse have been arrested for their crimes and are also subsequently in the brig?
It's actually a pretty extensive prison, but, yeah, there are a few other ponies, in various other cells.
So that whole conversation was in front of some other ponies.
Actually, not directly in front of. There's a few down the hall. Chica actually seems to have been separated somewhat by a few cells.
Okay, I was just curious how audible this was to others.
There might be a slight echo.
What are they talking about? I don't know, something about books.
From down the hall. Kiss her already!
God damn it, Dean, get out of my head!
Oh, poor Chica.
No, I still insist that there is nothing about awkward silence.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of something, and all the Mental Collective are yelling is, give her the drugs you've got on your possession. She's not helpful, guys.
Sure, get the widow high, that will help.
Well,
I prefer Happy
maybe we
Glasses'
should,
suggestion of giving her a zombie.
No!
well, maybe we should,
Head off?
leave you for now.
We'll talk to Chase and see if we can't work out a deal getting you out of here.
And if we don't die, we'll, kind of.
Well,
See it.
we'll come back to see you.
Yeah.
See you around, I guess.
Really sort of awkward sort of wave and then leave.
She without looking, she just raises her chitinous hold hoof and backwards waves back without looking. Her back is to you, or rather the top of her.
So she really doesn't see what we do at all.
She seems to understand.
So she doesn't see the intricate tap dance number they do to impress her on the way out.
I'm not rolling for that.
Yes, the two rehearsed an intricate dance all the way up the cell block with backup zombie dancers.
I mean, I probably could just break her
Yeah,
out
it's fine,
now
that's
and
more-
weather the consequences. But that just sounds like a bad plan in general.
Probably.
Yeah,
Be
that
funny,
sounds like
though.
an even worse plan than normal.
Well, it'd be like drunk Zencon plan, but
Oh yeah, he's
No.
still kind of drunk.
Okay, well, that officially brings that tangent to a close. Is there anything else anyone particularly wants to do before we call it a session?
I think Tibbs was originally going to visit Chica, but I think with that settled, it's not going to happen.
It's no real need for a follow-up.
No, definitely.
Let's
He
leave
will,
Chica
however,
alone.
go see how Aurelia's doing.
Oh, Aurelia is just kind of down at the target range. She actually seems to have, she doesn't seem to be firing right now. She actually just kind of leaned up against a wall with, her caster kind of leaning against her shoulder and just kind of taking a bit of a nap. Kind of quick little power nap just there on the floor of the target range.
poker. It's the best idea. Nothing can go wrong.
In that
You
case,
certainly won't get set on fire.
Tibbs is going to attempt to lift the plasma caster and put it on his back, and then nudge Aurelia to wake her up.
Actually, as soon as the weight of the plasma caster lifts off her shoulder, she just kind of starts to rouse. And as you finally put it on your back, she's just like, huh? What? No, wait. And she kind of weakly reaches out to you. No, give it back.
Come on, Sheila. You can have it back at Blinky's store.
I don't want to walk. Can I ride
Fine.
you?
Oh.
Sure, why not?
She,
Mhm.
the rather tall, dragoness, just kind
Am
of.
I gonna have to roll like strength for this?
Crawls onto your back and just kind of slumps onto your neck and on the top of your head. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll a bit of athletics to carry her.
All right. Let's hope I don't collapse in a heap.
That is the most adorable thing. She's all tuckered out from target practice.
Nat 20. So I rolled a 25 for that.
So you actually managed to just like do the horse like rear up thing and just
Mhm.
gallop out of the thing, just carrying her perfectly along.
Earth pony's strength for the win.
And it's just so kind of a startling a transition that she actually just like wakes up a little bit like, whoa, 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 and she starts hanging on for dear life as you just sprint all the way back to Blinky's store.
Sorry, Sheila. Just wanted to make sure you didn't drop. Got a little overboard.
Oh, that woke me up. Oh, I didn't. Huh. Oh, that was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, well, don't expect it too often.
Okay. She reluctantly gets off and picks up her caster. Well, thanks. And she just kind of awkwardly goes inside.
Alright. Tibbs is gonna roll his eyes and go inside as well to get some shut-eye before whatever the hell is happening tomorrow.
Yes. All right. Can we call it there?
Well, fine by me.
Sounds like a good point.
All right.
Yep. Sleep sounds like a plan.
How about we do the sign off with Jawa and Flotsam.
Okay.
This has been Fallout is Dragons.
Join us next week, where all the shit will hopefully not hit the fan.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Sounds like Patter's way of putting it, so it's fairly
I'm
accurate.
sorry,
yeah,
I
no,
panicked.
that's actually pretty good.
I panicked. I'm sorry.